is the personal note from the athlete to you, thanking you or talking about the moment that we made the bobblehead out of, and letting you know that, hey, the athlete appreciates you too. So, and then you open it, then obviously you see it's all handmade, hand painted, and very, very detail oriented, like you were saying.
Well, the box itself is a collector's item.
Thank you.
Yeah. You have a cage side club or a VIP club?
Yeah, we just announced that a couple days ago. So what I decided to do was I wanted to, I'm not into collecting, and I've never really been into collecting my entire life. I've never really collected anything. I collected baseball cards when I was a little kid, and just on that note, one thing, when I purchased a pack of baseball cards, and there would be, I would get lucky and get an autograph from the right fielder of the Milwaukee Brewers, like who the hell knows who this guy is. But whenever that were to happen, I scored that autograph card, I always felt a connection to that guy. Most of the time I've never heard of this guy, but I always became a fan of that guy once that I got that card. And I wanted that experience to translate over to this bobblehead, but like times 100, where the fan feels the connection to the fighter. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of say that really quick. But yeah, so I announced this cage side club where you can reserve your number for every autograph, for every bobblehead that I make, from numbers 20 through 100. You can reserve the number. It's got to be an autographed bobblehead. And I just thought it would be a cool thing for collectors and MMA fans to always have the same number. And when I made that announcement 2 days ago, half the numbers got taken like right away. And I thought, what an honor, and that was humbling. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to give special behind-the-scenes look at how I make them. Shout-outs from the fighter. We'll go live for just the people in the cage side club. Nice. I'll send videos and things like that. So I want it to be, an experience, because I want to appreciate the people who appreciate me and give back as much as possible. So, yeah, I just announced that, and you can find out more information by shooting me an email or reaching out to me on Instagram at MMA Bobblehead, and I can let you know what numbers are left. But, there's only about half the numbers left in 2 days, so that's pretty cool. It's for autographed bobbleheads only.
Yeah, and I went and bought mine yesterday, and most of the numbers were gone.
Yeah.
Just so everyone knows, you cannot take 38. That'll be my number for the rest of the time.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I think all the numbers in the 20s, 30s, most of the 40s are gone. I think you're going to have to start at like in the 50s and above. So, it's cool. It's cool to see that people want that, and people, don't care what I make next, and they're on board for whatever it is. But I'm bringing the heat, man, for sure. I mean, I already know who's coming next in the next 4 fighters. So I can tell you for sure, fan to fan, that you're going to love these people.
Do we have active fighters, Hall of Famers, current champs? What do we got?
Yeah, all of the above. Active fighters, Hall of Famers, and current champs. And former champs. But all of the above.
Possibly a champ?
Possibly a champ.
Nice.
Or 2.
Ooh, I like that. What's your, because I know you're a huge MMA fan, what's your favorite MMA moment?
Oh, man, dude. I mean, come on. That is a really tough question, but I'll tell you my favorite MMA moment as of the last few years. It's when Darren Elkins beat Marsad Bektic in the last round with like 2 minutes to go after absolutely getting brutalized for 2.5 rounds. It was embarrassing, and if his corner threw in, the corner from where does he fight out of? Don't tell me he fights out of Team Alpha Male. If they threw in that Joe threw in that towel, everyone would have been like, okay, no problem, because he was getting his butt kicked. But when he came back, and by the way, Marsad Bektic at the time was
on a roll,
like the poster boy for UFC. They put up this gorgeous photo of him. It looked like he was like an Abercrombie model. He was like 13-0, beautiful chiseled body, and then going against the journeyman that Elkins was. And then for Elkins to beat him like that, and him to get up and give that like primal scream and raise his arm up like that. Dude, I was watching this on the couch, right where I'm at right now on my couch. It was like someone lit the couch on fire. I hopped up off my couch so high. It was awesome. And it's moments like that. It's the reason why I love this sport so much.
Yeah, that was a UFC 209. My wife and I were there, and that arena just exploded. Like, no one expected that leg kick to come out of there, and it just went crazy. It was so awesome.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, so that's my favorite. That's my favorite MMA moment that popped into my head. But I mean, how can we not talk about Anthony's forward roll in this past Saturday, or Tony's forward roll this past Saturday after just getting almost knocked out against the. I mean, it's moments like those where you see someone's true heart and grit and what they're really made of. After getting knocked down or nearly knocked out and coming back and winning the fight and fighting off all the adversity. I mean, that's what it's all about for me, man. The human spirit and someone's tenacity and will to keep on going, because doesn't that translate to all of us in life? We get knocked around, we get hit in the face and punched in the gut, and we got to keep getting up and going in the office every day and dealing with what we deal with too. And it's just kind of like a big metaphor for these guys to do what they do up inside the cage too. And it makes me feel like I can do, go above and beyond and keep going, when I'm feeling down and out too.
Definitely. Now, before I let you go, I want to give you an opportunity to let the people know where they can contact you at.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for that. So my handle is MMA Bobblehead on everything, Facebook, IG, and Twitter. I'm most active on IG. I come on every once in a while, and I'll do an IG live, and I'll take questions, and I'll show you some behind-the-scenes stuff that's going on. And just kind of, I just like to be interactive with the people who are fans of what I do. So, yeah, MMA Bobblehead on all the platforms.
Excellent, man. Well, I've really enjoyed this conversation with you. It's honestly been one of my favorites.
Thank you, man.
If you want to come on any other time, let me know, and we'll work something out for sure.
Okay, thank you, man. I appreciate you having me on the show.
Of course, brother. Have a good day.
Okay, you too, man.
All right, man. Later.
Bye-bye.
And that was Dave Manley, the owner and creator of MMA Bobbleheads. Like I said, the artwork speaks for itself, and you guys definitely should check them out if you are a fan of MMA memorabilia. But now that we got through that, I would love to very, very quickly discuss the next upcoming UFC card. I'm not even going to get into it a whole lot. I'm just going to really maybe talk about one or two fights. I don't have a whole lot of time left, but for sure, one of the biggest stories was one of the guys that attacked Conor McGregor was actually Khabib's teammate, and he was supposed to be fighting on the card against Artem Lobov. He is officially now not going to be taking this fight. Artem will still be fighting, and he is going to be taking on Michael Johnson. That has just been officially announced, so that'll be the co-main event to Volkov versus Smith. Misha Shirkunov is also on that card against Patrick Cummings. That should be a very good fight. I'm interested to see Andre Sukumtal. We haven't seen him since he fought Sugar Sean O'Malley at UFC 222. Calvin Kattar is on the prelims, which is, I feel like that's a fucking really, really low spot to put somebody like Calvin Kattar. He's really up and coming in the 145-pound division. But I just want to, like I said, talk about it real quick. I want to discuss this main event, Volkan Ozdemir versus Anthony Smith. Ozdemir is currently 3-1 in the UFC. He came into the UFC with a 3-fight winning streak, which got halted when he was pitted up against current, or I guess now former, light heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier at UFC 220. You could tell it was just completely different levels at that point. Volkan Ozdemir is not on the level of Daniel Cormier when it comes to wrestling, and he was just out-wrestled by DC. He actually was outstruck by DC too, if you can believe that. DC does have some hands on him. He was finished 2 minutes into the second round by DC at 220. But I feel like outside of that DC fight, he really came in and made a huge name for himself. He got a split decision victory over Volkan Ozdemir. I believe that was a short notice fight. He also came in and knocked out Misha Shirkunov and Jimmy Manuwa, and those were both in the first round. I believe within the first minute of the first round. Volkan Ozdemir is no slouch. He is a very game fighter, and he will go in there and swing to take your head off. He's got tremendous power in both his hands, and like his nickname says, it takes him no time to put you out. But the man standing across from Volkan Ozdemir next Saturday night is a very intriguing up-and-coming light heavyweight by the name of Anthony Lionheart Smith. Now, Anthony Smith has just recently made this jump to light heavyweight. He fought Rashad Evans at light heavyweight and Shogun Rua. He took out both of those legends very, very quickly. Both of them were in the first round. I believe Rashad was even under a minute. His last loss was to Thiago Santos, and that was at UFC Fight Night, Machida versus Anders. He lost by TKO that night, but then has really fell into his own since he has joined the UFC's light heavyweight division. I'm really excited for this fight. I really feel like these two are at the prime of their careers right now, and they're really just going there and take each other out. The official rankings for the light heavyweight division has Volkan Ozdemir as the number 2 ranked fighter, and then it sits Anthony Lionheart Smith as the number 10 UFC light heavyweight contender. Yeah, it's a fucking exciting fight, and definitely one to tune into. That'll be live and free. I believe it's on Fox Sports 1. That is, again, next Saturday night. The actual date is October 27th, 2018, obviously. It's going to be an exciting fight. Really too bad I didn't get to go deeply into UFC Moncton. But that is it for our show today, guys. We had 2 interviews, so it kind of took up most of our time. But thank you for joining us on our 8th episode here of MMI. I know I told you guys last time that this was going to be the last time with that intro song. Sorry, you had to hear it one more time. But for sure, this will be the last time with that intro song. I'm in the process of getting another one right now. We agreed on a deal, so I'm just waiting to get the cut sent to me so that I could start using it. But besides that, it's business as usual. I just want to say thank you guys for joining me. Like I've already expressed so many times, this podcast would be nothing without people actually listening to it. So if no one was listening to it, I sure as fuck wouldn't be doing it. But it's so much fun that I actually get to look at stats and see that people do listen to it and do enjoy it. So that's fun for me. But thank you guys for everything, and stay classy.